So I was maybe like 9 or 10 years old. I think I was 10 years old, and I was at my uncle's house, my dad's good friend called Gabe Kipapa, and they were drinking in their garage. And when I was young, I used to just kind of hang out with my dad and his friends, and not really go out and play, just kind of listen to them talk story. And I remember I was sitting there in the garage as they were talking story, and he caught me looking at something in the garage. And he said, "Boy, what you looking at?" And I ended up telling him, "Dad, oh, Uncle, I'm looking at that surfboard over there." And he's like, "Oh, what? You like surf?" And I was like, "Uncle, I like surf." So he got up from talking with my dad, and he walks over to like the line of sight or looking, and he moves all his stuff that was in the garage, and he pulls down the board, wipes it off, and he puts it onto the table. And he said, "Here, Cliff, this is for you." And he gave me my first surfboard. And it was a lightning bolt surfboard, this exact one right here, shaped by Donald Bennett, Sunset Beach. Obviously, maybe in the later 80s, but you can see the lightning bolt, original pinstripe. It's taken some damage over the years, had to replace the fin box, some damage to the side. But yeah, obviously sometime in the later 70s, 80s with the fin plug, but the old fin plug, as you can see, pintail, real thick rails, turn down, beak nose. This all happened after. I need to really fix this board up, but I ended up learning how to surf on this single fin right here. A lot of good memories learning how to surf this thing. This was my first board. And from then on, I've ended up being fortunate to just collect boards over the years, all different shapes and sizes. But these are some of the first boards that I had. These are maybe some of the more neglected boards here that are still rideable. They're a lot of them are still watertight. Whether it's this is my first brand new board, a Keola Raposa 510, 2 1/4, 18.5, and then all the way to these types of boards over here. These HIC Garduke from the late 80s, some Town and Countries, even some of these backyard boards. You know, I used to break my boards a lot growing up, and being from a small town in Hawai'i, we didn't necessarily just get a new board. We would grab a nose from another board and we would just put it on. So that was kind of my style. I would just Frankenstein boards growing up, and it was the best. Like even this is, I don't know how, like this is probably 8 grip pads. I would rip them off and re-put them on using super glue. Reduce, reuse, recycle in the finest of forms. But yeah, these are some of the OG boards for me. This is a newer board. This is Travis Reynolds mid-length and Thomas Campbell. They worked together to create this original art piece, mid-length 8.2 Bayfront special. Amazing, worked so good, but it ended up breaking in half on my last trip abroad. So unfortunately that happened, but these are kind of my everyday. These aren't all my boards. This is maybe half of my boards that I have here at home on the Big Island, just the things that have sentimental value to me and also that are functional, that I use almost every day, a lot of these boards. So this is my quiver. I have a range of different fishes, twin fins from a bunch of Channel Islands fishes, twin fins, also some, have a Danny Hess, a walnut EPS, Traveler model, A board that I'm really having a lot of fun on right now is this Channel Islands 6-1. Shoot, let me move the single fin. This is the prize board right here from Uncle Gabe. Hello, Uncle Gabe. So stoked on this thing. I'll put it right here. Soon she'll be fixed again and I'll be riding her. But this board, this is one of Channel Island's newer models. It's called the Fish Beard. It's an older model that they say it's the neck beard, but they modified it. Parker Coffin and Britt Merrick were able to create a more fishy tail with a performance nose. I got mine actually a little bit longer than a lot of the other guys on the team. I got mine a little more foam in the chest, thicker, longer rail line, and that's just something that actually talking with Britt and Thomas Campbell got me excited to get more rail going on, and in that I feel like it really holds in the barrel really well. I can use this part of the board a lot more. When the board's a little bit shorter, sometimes I have trouble really trimming when it's turbulent in the tube. So this is a really fun board that I'm really enjoying surfing right now. Another really fun board that I don't ride anymore, but I have a lot of aloha for is this 510. I don't even know the dimensions. I think it's a 510 Matty Rayner Kalapana model. It's kind of got this single fin outline template beak nose in the front, and then it's got more modern bladed pintail to work in the barrel. This thing, I've traveled with this all over the world. He made this thing for me. It was there wasn't any sponsors, there wasn't any surf trips or anything. It just was a good friend who made me something that would get me some good waves, and I'm just so appreciative to Matty Rayner to make this board for me. And I don't even ride it anymore because I don't want to break it. I feel it's just so fun to think about all the fun waves that I've gotten on it. As you can see, there's been some damage to her. I don't know, there's some spider web cracking too on the bottom. I'm just so afraid that she'll break. And I remember he even asked me, he's like, hey, can you give that thing back to me? We're gonna cut it up and turn it into a board for a little kid. And I was like, yeah, sure. But in my mind, I'm like, there's no way I'm giving you back this board. I'm gonna have to keep this thing. So that's a really fun board. And another board, this is kind of one of my favorite boards too to ride right now. I don't know the dimensions, but it's an alaia, depending on who you're speaking to. Polonial wood with hau and koa stringers. You can see that the stringers oftentimes go across the board this way to prevent the board from cracking down the middle. That's essentially, these are the stringers. Really beautiful board by my good friend Brandon Ohuna. Goes by Ohuna Hana. Mahalo, Brandon. It's really a privilege to ride these traditional crafts and perpetuate our heritage as Hawaiian people. And then there's my more taller boards. This board is called the Hog Cheese. It's an 8.6, really thick paddle power board to get into the serious stuff, alongside this board, which I remember going to the Creators and Innovators trip a couple years ago and just hanging out with Danny Hess, and at the end of the trip he just blessed me with this 9.4 Traveler cedar cork wooden gun. Insane board. Just really stoked to have ridden this thing at home on the Big Island. As soon as she got off the plane, I was able to get her out in the water. It wasn't really big, but what's so amazing about this type of board, it's called the Traveler, and Danny Hess, he likes to say these things are 2 to 20. You ride them from small as you want to as big as you want, and they're just so fun. Quad, big V out the tail. It's the same model as this little guy over here that's made out of walnut and recycled EPS. It's the same board essentially, just the baby brother, and both have. I mean, this little board has been really fun on a last trip I went with some friends a little further away. But yeah, and then these are, you know, fins, always an essential to the quiver. I also have a mat given to me by Uncle Steiny from Santa Cruz, California, Jonathan Steinberg. He's the unofficial mayor of Santa Cruz, positive influence on many of the people in Santa Cruz. He gave me this mat, so this is essential to the quiver as well. I've taken that on a few trips, but something that I'm just really stoked on in my quiver was a board that I was fortunate enough to shape with on the last trip to Santa Cruz with the Vizsla team, and it was my first. It was the first board I shaped. It's a 7.4 by 20.5, 3-inch wide, 7.4 long, 20.5 wide at the widest point, and 3 inches thick in the center. Sting model, inspired by Ben Aipa. Just some of my heroes grew up riding these boards and really influenced the world. Guys like Buttons, Koluhi Okalani, Larry Bertelman, Mark Liddell, Dane Kealoha, Mike Ho. These are just guys that I looked up to and I really wanted to surf like. So when I had an opportunity to shape a board on the Vizsla trip, I for sure was going to shape something to honor these guys. And Travis Reynolds was there to help me pretty much every step of the way. Not just Travis, but also everyone. Derek Disney, Danny Hess, Jeff McCallum. I mean, Thomas was there. Campbell, he helped out. Alex Villalobos, he's the one who did the lamination alongside Travis's pinstripe. We have the OG lightning bolt from the purple to the orange, the burnt orange, single fin. Original Sting design with the wings far up, shaka wide on the tail, single fin, move them back, move them front, make the tension. That's the way to do it with this thing. So stoked on this board. Really appreciative to the family at Vizsla for giving me the opportunity to shape this with such amazing, talented shapers and surfers and all around people. This is just a few of the boards in my quiver. It's, I don't have all of the same type of board in my quiver. To me, the boards are just the extension of what we already are trying to do on the wave and where our mind is at. So it's just a real privilege to now be able to have some tools that can allow me to take my expression of what it means to slide on waves and be a part of the ocean in a way that I didn't have an opportunity to growing up. So I'm incredibly grateful to have fun, amazing toys and tools that allow me to live Hawaiian style. Hallelujah.